So that whole go woke, go broke thing has literally played out in real time for Victoria's Secret. Now you might say, well, Victoria's Secret is just a victim of the whole retail apocalypse. Well, maybe, but Victoria's Secret's marketing has absolutely tanked its sales. CEO quit after less than a year. They're going to take things in a less woke direction. They're going to try something different. They're going to go back to putting the band back together. Try some of the tactics they used to be famous for. Let's get into it. Here we go. Victoria's Secret turning over a new old leaf. So yesterday I went to the Bellevue Square Mall, which I rarely go to except for Christmas time. And I got a new phone. So I picked it up from the locker there at Verizon. And I'm just kind of walking around the mall because I don't go there very often. I don't want to see what stores are there, what's not there. Walked just down the hall a little bit. And I noticed that Victoria's Secret had changed out their layout dramatically. Like they have way less space. So, and I took this photo at the outset of my little journey. So, and this photo I took because my friend Gavin in Australia had sent me a text message saying, "Hey, Sean, have you seen some of the models and that are marketing outdoor clothing? You don't know if they're a guy or a girl, and you're not really sure what activity they might be up for, if anything." I'm like, no, I haven't seen that, but some of the models we've got running around here, not exactly conducive to sales. So this gal here, the one that's on the outside of the store in Bellevue Square here in Bellevue, a few miles that way from me, the thing I would say about her is that she is probably more representative of the general population than the super ultra skinny Victoria's Secret supermodels we used to have of yesteryear. So she's probably more representative, but I don't think this isn't what's selling Victoria's Secret's product, which is lingerie, right? And a bunch of makeup and pink and all that stuff. So then today on Discord, I get a message from an anonymous source with this article. And I knew this was kicking around, but it's one of those discussions of, okay, yeah, when people are looking for a certain product and they're not seeing it with direct marketing, no matter how woke things are, that will tank your company. And that's effectively what Victoria's Secret is saying. Not trying to take anything away from our model there, but she's a bigger girl, right? And that's not exactly the fantasy I think that most folks want. Even for guys, if you go into a Nike store, you go into a Lululemon and you see a picture of just a really overweight dad bod kind of guy, that doesn't drive you to buy that product. You want something that you're going to say, all right, my partner's going to find me sexier in that outfit. I'm not sure that this young lady is portraying that message, right? Especially if you're talking about women's lingerie, bras, panties, whatever, makeup. I don't know. I always feel like I'm not supposed to go into a Victoria's Secret because it is so decked out in female products, right? And you go in there and you're like, you don't really want to touch anything. And it's this awkward experience. I only really go in there with my girlfriend or wife, back in the day. And I did a lot of that because if you want your lady to wear something pretty, buy it for her. It's that simple. If she doesn't wear it, that's all you can do, right? It's at the bottom of the pile of stuff. It's like, okay, all right, but you had that one outfit. Yeah, it doesn't fit. That's another thing is with Victoria's Secret. I feel like their quality has dropped significantly. And the reason I say that, because my girlfriend she sews. She's not a seamstress or anything, but she can sew. She'll sew, anything. And she's pretty good. Some of the stuff she puts together, I'm like, you sewed that? Huh. Interesting. All right. But she will turn things over in the store and go, "Hey, Sean, look at this." And I'm like, yep, that's a stitch. And I have no idea what it means. But she's saying, okay, this isn't the quality. You need to have this kind of stitch line. This stitching is already coming across. It's not cut right. The bolt wasn't this. The bolt wasn't that. These aren't all of this sewing stuff that, just zooms over my head. Just, I can take a needle and put it back through, some first aid training over the years in case somebody's bleeding out and you're on a big mountain. All right. That's the equivalent of my sewing. But the quality of Victoria's Secret has suffered, in recent years. And I think a lot of that has to do with, not only inflation, but shrink, product shrink, which is, all right, outsource it to somebody even crappier quality than what you were getting before, which was already outsourced to whomever. And so I think the quality of Victoria's Secret stuff has diminished as well. So Victoria's Secret ditches prioritizing wokeness over sexiness after sales drop. Who knew? What? You're putting people out there in outfits that, arguably the general public doesn't identify with your product, because we got used to seeing, and what made Victoria's Secret famous in the digital era was the Victoria's Secret angels. And they had those, the wings, and they haven't eaten for 3 months and they're ridiculously skinny, right? And just propped up with surgery. It's the only curve they've got, because the rest of them, well, if I make it 3 more steps, that's all the calories I got in my system right now. Versus the gal we saw there who, she doesn't have a calorie deficit going on right now, right? And she's far more representative of the general public than any of those supermodel angels were. But according to Victoria's Secret executives, the brand's diversity initiatives have not been enough to carry the day financially. Oof, ouch, that hurts. Guys, this whole woke thing, yeah, that was a big pile of shit. Yep. CEO, you got to go. We got to get a dude back in here. Got to get some more dudes back on the board, because they're the ones that are going to say, yep, nope. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And here we are, right, reading an article about this. Lingerie chain Victoria's Secret is reportedly ditching its woke feminist makeover of recent years, as it hasn't translated to business success. So their diversity, equity, and inclusion score, it went through the roof. We didn't get as close to putting a transsexual, I don't think, for marketing purposes with Victoria's Secret. But we went down a more body inclusivity type route, which I would say for a lot of clothing, okay, but underwear, that's a push. And Victoria's Secret is coming right out and saying it was a push. We know it now. We're going to go in a different direction. Since the brand decided to move away from its hypersexualized image, it was wildly hypersexualized. And you know what? As guys, we loved it. Loved it. Because otherwise you wouldn't have that supermodel deal. Remember back in the day when they broadcast that on the internet and you had a really slow connection, but you were getting a live stream of whatever? That was a big, big thing. At one point in time, the Victoria's Secret Angel, the new show for the upcoming season of underwear, right? So crazy. The hypersexualized image. That is what sold Victoria's Secret stuff. The catalog. Epic. You had, Stephanie Seymour, Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. Saw him in concert last weekend. It was great. Can Axl sing like Freddie Mercury anymore? Better than Freddie Mercury? He had a greater vocal range than Freddie Mercury back in the day? No, he can't sing that. But he's also not 20 whatever anymore. He doesn't have that screaming rage in him. But Stephanie Seymour, she's in November Rain, right? That's the video that even Trump liked. He was like, that's the greatest video ever. And it was a great video. It's more like a movie, right? Victoria, but when you have Stephanie Seymour in there, you're like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, she's selling some underwear. Since the brand decided to move away from its hypersexualized image, as businessoffashion.com described in a recent article, Victoria's Secret has seen a significant revenue drop. People don't, and women are the vast majority of shoppers at Victoria's Secret. Yeah, I wish Victoria's Secret had a section for dudes, where like you could get a draft beer And you could talk about the bears and you could get some stuff too, but you just feel so awkward going, it's all bright and it's got those pastel colors. You're like, okay, my girlfriend wears at this size and this size. Can you help me out? Or you just rifle through some drawers and you're like, okay, I hope this works out. As such, it's looked to revamp itself and bring back sexiness. The outlet noted in a piece that was published by editorial partner CNN on Tuesday. Kathleen Chen reported that the brand's efforts to promote inclusivity, which included making LGBTQ pro women's soccer player and outspoken leftist Megan Rapinoe, when she took the knee during the national anthem, hard no-go for me. Don't care. Take your blue hair and get the F off the field. That's just my opinion. Anybody else who did that as well, hard no-go. Get the F off. Colin Kaepernick, same thing. Just get off. Don't play anymore. You gave up your chance. We don't like you. So we got outspoken leftist Megan Rapinoe as well, who looks like a man, right? Who looks like a man. Okay, so as well as transgender women, brand spokesmodels, and getting rid of its famous angels. Yeah, how'd that work out? Yeah. It's not going to be able to carry the day for us. So the transgender women, I didn't see any of that. The brand spokesman models and getting rid of its famous angel supermodels gained favorable reviews from online critics, but never translated into sales. Go woke, get broke. How many times do we have to see this? Target? Bud Light? I mean, it goes on and on and on. But that DEI score, that diversity, equity, and inclusion, through the roof. But it never translated into sales. Interesting, right? Okay, so here's a dude, and this picture has been on a lot of Victoria's Secret. It's kind of a stock photo. Got a guy walking here, and then I took just the one photo. There were other photos like that in the big displays. And like this photo here that we're watching, and you've got, I think you got somebody that's pregnant here. All right, okay, but we're trying to sell something more along the lines of, if you wear this, your partner will find you sexier, right? And if you're not really putting that out there, or hey, if you want to feel sexier, buy this. Okay. Yeah. I'm just not getting the vibe. Nothing wrong with pregnant women, clearly, because if we don't have pregnant women, we don't have population. They're beautiful in and of their own right. But do we want to see this modeled in such a way? Because that's not exactly a time where you're like, hey, go put on an outfit. Let's go. Right. It's far less of that. So you've got your optics on this are just wildly out of touch with reality. That's the way I see it. People don't want to see that. They don't want to see reality. We already feel like, okay, what can I buy to make me feel better? What can I buy to make me feel like my partner's going to think I look better? And they want to whatever with me, whatever your end goal is. Maybe it's nothing. But maybe you just want to get something that's cute. Now, Victoria's Secret's gone away from that. Target, I would say they really just biffed it with that whole bathing suit deal. And let's put it in the front of the store. Oh, we're getting a little bit of pushback on our pouches for kids that, might have a wiener, might not. We're not really sure, but any which way you go, if you're a young child, we got you covered. Oh God, we got to put those bathing suits in the back of the store because people are coming in and they are pissed. Now, according to the numbers, the lingerie brand's projected revenue for 2023 is $6.2 billion. That is a lot of underwear, right? And let's be honest, they sell a lot of other stuff, which is 5% lower than it was last year and even lower than 2020 as they've been going down this woke route. Shocking. Let's see. That curve would go, all right, here's their wokeness going up as their sales go down. Just the two are inverted, right? The drop in Victoria's Secret sales also followed the company's move to make its board of directors mostly female. Interesting. So that didn't work out either, even though vast majority of shoppers, Victoria's Secret, are women. What happened? The way the message they're selling with their clothes no longer works. Just doesn't work. It's like, I don't really want that. That's not the end goal here. We need something different. Nobody wants to admit I'm already overweight. I don't need to see that in the model. I can go home and look at the mirror. Sell me something sexy. That's what Victoria's Secret needs to get back to, right? In 2021, Rapinoe called out what the brand had been before the revamp, claiming it had sent out a really harmful message that was patriarchal, sexist, viewing not just what it meant to be sexy, but what the clothes were trying to accomplish through a male lens and through what men desired. And now we're going back to that. Because get woke, go broke is not working out. Now, another really interesting thing, I did walk through the Victoria's Secret in my beloved Bellevue Square Mall that I never really patronize anymore. And the reason that I went through it is because I recognized, wow, they have changed up the store configuration. Now the entrance is here, meaning they've probably downsized. And we're seeing this with a lot of retail outfits that aren't having a lot of luck with in-store profitability because Bellevue Square is incredibly expensive rent-wise. It's astronomical. Like we've got a Tesla store in there, if that tells you anything. People come from Canada to shop there. If you want to really feel poor, go shopping at Bellevue Square, because when you drive in the parking lot of their many, many, many garages, you will realize I don't drive a brand new exotic car and I am not really dressed up for this. So, but I'm just going to run in and grab my phone and get the F out of there and look at Victoria's Secret. But the old Victoria's Secret store had been cut down to about, I'm going to guess a quarter of the space. I walked in, I'm like, this is it. This is all they have. And that is that, they are shrinking space, same amount of products, just less of them, confined to these little tiny spaces. All right, here's your 2 racks of whatever, 10 for $30, 10 for $40, however they do it, instead of having 8 strewn around the store. Right. Everything is just smaller, more compacted. And they've got like 2 people working the cash register, whereas they used to have like 8, space for 8. So the dynamics are changing dramatically for retail in Victoria's Secret. It's been in the crosshairs of this for a long time. The drop in Victoria's Secret sales also followed the company. Okay, we talked about that. Talked about Rapinoe. But again, Megan Rapinoe is not representative of the end result of what you want when you go to Victoria's Secret, right? You are not looking for an athletic slash, you know what I'm saying? With blue hair. Yeah, that's not what you're going for when you go to Victoria's Secret. I don't think most women are either. But Victoria's Secret was like, everybody else is telling us that this is where things are. So we're going to try and hitch a ride on this whole get woke thing. And yeah, we're going to put some models up there that more represent inclusivity. Oh, yeah, but that's not going to equate to sales. Shocking, right? And it was very much marketed towards younger women, the U.S. women's soccer star added at the time. What I would say there is yes, but the younger women have the whole pink line, right? It's like college stuff almost. And then you've got the other everybody else. So, you got specifics for specific people, whatever. In the fashion outlet, Chen noted that the lingerie company's attempt to stop the financial drain from the body positive marketing was causing was to bring back its runway show format and blend the sexiness the brand had become famous for with what some of its more inclusive initiatives. Okay. All right. I'll have to see it to judge it, but I'm going to say, yeah, no, probably not. It's like, no. Bring back the supermodels. Let's be 100% honest and sexist. That's what people wanted to see. That's just sell us the fantasy. We get reality. Reality sucks. And that's you gotta, okay, you can eat. Oh, stop eating the rest of the day. You're done. Yeah. I'm jesting, but kind of not, right? In order to be all ripped up as a guy or just be, super thin, gotta stop eating. Can't eat like a 10-year-old, although that's the way the vast majority of us operate. So she described the Victoria's Secret, the Tour 23, as a display that fell somewhere between the personification of male lust of the brand's aughts era heyday and the inclusive utopia promoted by its many disruptors. What in the F does that mean? The personification of male lust. All right. Skinny girls in underwear with fake boobs. That's honestly what it is, right? Victoria's Secret and Pink brand president Greg Eunice summed up his new direction for the company, reportedly telling investors, sexiness can be inclusive. Okay. All right. Whatever. He explained that sexiness can celebrate the diverse experiences of our customers, and that's what we're focused on. But people have those experiences. They're looking to buy something else, right? They're looking to buy something else. So you got to spin it that way. You've already got the buyer objection, which is, I don't look like any of these models, but let me believe for a split second that if I put this on, it's going to happen. So that's what when I walk into Lululemon and I'm going to buy some joggers because I'm a guy and maybe I'll get some t-shirts there and some joggers. I'm not going to get any, leggings. Hard no there. But when I look up at the model, that's fitted on, I don't want to see a, dad bod. That's not what I want to see. Hard no go. So, cause I can go home and yep, dad. All right, here we go. Chief Executive Martin Waters also reportedly admitted that the inclusivity initiatives were not profitable from the company, stating, despite everyone's best endeavors, it's not been enough to carry the day. It's not been enough. In fact, it was terrible. Sales dropped significantly when they went to this. You can just imagine, you can just imagine after that first cycle of body positivity and inclusivity, the the meetings. Hey, we had that new campaign out. How did that do? It did not carry the day. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, it's not going. All right. And then you've got, quarter 3, quarter 4, whatever it is. All right, guys, how's it going? It's terrible. Fire the CEO. So we'll get back to that article, but Victoria's Secret CEO Amy Hawke exits amid woke controversies. So this has been ongoing, and I did notice this one. Amy Hawke has been at the helm of Victoria's Secret brand since summer of 2022. So she kicked and fought her way to becoming CEO of a massive company that arguably is suffering from, some of the whole retail apocalypse that's hitting the Gap, Banana Republic, any of those type stores, right? Because so much has gone online. Victoria's Secret's got a great online presence. They got all their stuff there, and they have had for years and years and years. Amy Hawke will be stepping down as CEO of Victoria's Secret and Pink in order to spend more time with her family in Florida. What do you think of that? Battles to become CEO of a world famous brand, probably the most famous brand of this type of product. And then, you know what? Yeah. I need to get home with my 3-year-old and my 8-year-old. I really feel like I'm missing out on them growing up. Hell no. Anybody that struggles to become CEO of a company, if they're getting thrown out after a year, it's because the direction they took the company in was terrible. And that's what happened to Victoria's Secret. On top of having all of this, all right, we're going to shut all the stores down. You're not selling food. Therefore, you're closed. During the pandemic, that was the deal. I remember the second day that the mall was open. I went back in there not to buy anything. I just wanted to go walk around and, hey, it's open. It's great. not going to buy anything, and then shopping during that first year, 2020. Yeah, you're like, okay, should we be in here? Because, people got masks on, we're masked up. It's a weird experience. That whole thing was just bizarre, right? According to Business of Fashion, the company's new goal is to improve profitability and cross back over $7 billion in annual sales. To meet this objective, the brand plans to roll out activewear and swimwear, update its existing stores, and open up 400 new ones outside the United States. Going after new markets. The interesting thing there was the swimwear. They had swimwear for a long time. They discontinued it. They must have analyzed and realized, okay, our margins, I don't know. We're not selling enough. Our margins aren't big enough. I mean, it's not a stretch to sell swimwear and, women's underwear. That's not a stretch. So who knows what the deal was there? One of you probably knows. Sean, it was based on this, and clearly this is what we've got. Victoria's Secret did not immediately respond to Fox Business request for comment. Shocking. Yeah, we're not going to get back to you. All right. So here's the 2018 before they went down the super woke. Now, you want to talk about some skinny chicks and small clothing. That's what you got. That is what sells Victoria's Secret. That is what has made Victoria's Secret a worldwide brand and an iconic fashion deal. Putting other people up there, not quite as much, right? It's not the look that people need. And then when you start getting into what started this for me was my friend's message saying, hey, you seen some of the stuff in the outdoor wear? You can't tell if they're a boy or a girl, and you don't really know what you got going on there. That's where you're like, okay, what are we selling here? Well, you're selling an image to a very tiny percentage of the population that doesn't have any purchasing power relative to the greater population. And that's exactly what happened here with Victoria's Secret, just on a broader scale. And women basically said, yeah, we're not going to buy it. We don't want to buy it. So it'll be interesting to see with the changes that Victoria's Secret has made, if they can turn around their sales slump. Because you know what? There's a lot of people that are looking online for this kind of stuff now and purchasing from online. Victoria's Secret isn't the only player in the game. There are many, many independent little operations that can drop ship stuff. And there's so many different options you have now as a small independent marketer of this kind of stuff. I follow a lot of sportswear because a lot of the fitness models have their own lines of clothing, and then they do YouTube to basically create their sales for them, right? A lot of the fitness guys have their own brand, and that's where they make good money, is on merch. Speaking of merch, socialism works for those who don't. And we're going to be having a shenanigans line come out here soon. So you can check out our merch. It's probably right here on YouTube description, but, what's it going to take for Victoria's Secret to get things back going? It's hard to say, because with this whole retail apocalypse on top of the branding, they just tanked it, didn't they? They just tanked it. No, we don't want to see that. And this was more so women saying this than men, because men do shop at Victoria's Secret because they want to get lucky. Let's be honest. All right, maybe she'll order this, and now it's going to be great. It's going to be the best night ever. Oh man, the clothing didn't do it again. Always blame the clothing, not because you didn't treat her right or you didn't take her out to dinner. You didn't, all these other things that you're supposed to do. I just got some clothes for her and it just went sideways on me. Well, that's unfortunately how interaction between men and women goes. Not everything can be resurrected by the purchase of, hey, here's some flowers and some stuff from Victoria's Secret. So it'll be really interesting to see the direction that Victoria's Secret takes, because they are basically stating now, all right, yeah, all that stuff with the bigger gals and gals you couldn't work out, what direction, and maybe they weren't gals at all. Yeah, we're gonna push that to the side, and we're gonna bring back a blast from the past. We're gonna get the angels with their wings on, and they won't have eaten for 3 weeks now instead of just the 2 we required before. And they've been doing cardio for 16 straight months, and they're looking good. We're going to go down that direction. We'll see if that has an impact on sales. I think it will to a certain extent, but a lot of what we're seeing in retail, people are doing stuff online. And with the whole change of model, so now you can't go into the store. If you're buying online, you're not going into the store and holding something up and going, oh, this is really cute, and turning it around, something like that. You're literally just looking online. And if you've got the body inclusivity going on, that's a turnoff. That may be a turnoff for you. And it has been a turnoff because women have said, who are the vast majority of shoppers. And I know men are saying it. They're like, oh, what's going on there? That's not what we saw before. It was different. So you changed it up on us. We're a hard no-go. You kneel during the, almost at halftime. You kneel during the national anthem. We're not doing that. You're all done. We're not signing you to the next NFL team because you kneeled and you went down all these crazy diversity, equity, inclusion routes. And Victoria's Secret is absolutely no different. No different. Probably worse because their product is just so out in the open. You can't spin it with other products. You can, like Target with their children with their pockets for the genitalia. What in the world was that all about anyway? Yeah. All right. That's it for me on this one. I have beaten Victoria's Secret's wokeness to death, I feel like, in a reasonable fashion. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Would you consider buying from Victoria's Secret if you've gone away due to their wokeness? Did you even know? Did you even care? Probably not. Don't really care. Don't buy their stuff. Who cares? Well, this is a go woke, go broke story. There you go. Thanks for being here. Catch up with you on the next one. Bye for now.